Okay, so for this problem, you're looking at a simplify. So what we want to do is we want to factor everything completely. Well, the numerator is just a single, it's a monomial expression or term. There's only, even though it's made up of f's and g's and numbers, it's a monomial. So there's no factors for it. It's already written as factors. The denominator is a binomial, so we look to factor it. Are there any common factors you can remove from that? Both terms have a g. So when you remove a common factor of g, you're left with a binomial. Again, whatever's left has to have the same form as the original. So the original is a binomial, so that's going to be a binomial. And you get the terms 2f minus 1 to be your factor. Okay, so once we do this, the next step is to cancel common factors. So the only factors that can be canceled here are this g cancels with one of these g's, leaving just 1 in the numerator. And so our simplified form is 8f squared g all over 2f minus 1. Okay, now, when you identify your domain restriction, even though there might be more than what you write in here, all you're writing in here are the domain restrictions that got canceled out through the simplifying process. So if we look, the only factor from the denominator that was canceled out is g. So what do we know g cannot equal? G cannot equal 0. And so that will be your only restriction. Now, if I had asked you to find the domain of this problem, would your answer just be all real numbers, g not equal to 0? Again, this is not part of what I asked you on the homework, but if I were to ask you what is the domain of this, it would be all real numbers. It is true that g does not equal 0, but what other domain restriction would we have to account for in the domain? Patrick? Good. And in this, f also cannot equal 1/2. Now, we don't need to write that here, though, because is that restriction implied in the simplified form? Yeah. Now, this is what I had mentioned to you guys. This is different than what you did last year, right? Last year, all you guys would have done for your restriction would have been f not equal to 1/2. This year, it's assumed that you get that. I mean, you know, you can see it. You see that that's restricted. What you didn't see, though, is in the process of simplifying, we lost the fact that g can't be 0. So that's what we include. That's what gives you extra information. The fact that f can't be 1/2 is not extra information. We already have it. It's redundant. Okay, so only put the information from factors that got canceled from the denominator, please.